I have the pleasure of speaking with new notaries every single week. Typically, they ask me the same questions. Michelle, what's the most important thing I need to know as a new notary? And my answer never changes. I tell them the first thing you need to know really well are Alabama's notary laws. And then after that, the next important thing you need to know is how to correctly complete the notarial certificate on documents. Now, for those notaries who choose to use their commission and start a notary business, I would add a third item or a third thing that is important for them to know, and that is how to successfully market their notary services. And so in this video, I'll be talking with you about marketing your notary services to Alabama private investigators. Usually, when someone talks about notary businesses, you immediately think about being a notary signing agent and specializing in real estate transactions. That's very common and is the most sought out role for a notary business. Another option is general notary work, which this somewhat falls in the category of type of work. But usually with general notary work, the notary is working directly one-on-one with individuals who live in their community. I'm suggesting that notary business owners take a different approach to marketing their services by targeting certain industries, occupations, roles to be more effective. Now, I'm well aware that some of the viewers and subscribers to this channel reside in other states. I still want you to watch this video because I believe you can apply these same principles in your state. So please follow along as we look at marketing opportunities. And to help guide us through this discussion, I'll be focusing on the who, the what, the how, the where, and then sum it all up together for you. So to start off, I know most of us know what private investigators do and who they are. But for those who don't, in the state of Alabama, private investigators are typically self-employed, independent contractors. Now, I'm not talking about detectives or investigators who work for the state of Alabama or the county of Jefferson. These are, again, self-employed individuals. In Alabama, it is mandatory that you have a license in order to work as a private investigator. Many of the men and women who are PIs work from home, and a number of them are either former law enforcement officers, and many of them have also served in the military. What do they do? In short, they do more than what we see in the movies. Generally speaking, private investigators are hired to gather evidence. It could be evidence that needs to be used in a court hearing. It could be evidence from medical facilities. And sometimes it could be gathering evidence from either business or personal records. And yes, private investigators are known for conducting surveillance. This could be photographs, it could be observation, and yes, it could even be video surveillance. A lot of people think of couples who are cheating on their spouses, and yes, that is something that many private investigators are hired to do, but they do a lot more than just that. They are hired to investigate motor vehicle accidents and also to obtain information from individuals, from medical professions, when someone is out on a disability claim or a workers' compensation claim. Private investigators do a lot of interviewing of individuals. It could be the person who was involved in an accident or illness. It could also be eyewitnesses to an incident. PIs are even hired to again obtain important records and deliver important documents. Process serving falls under this category, hand delivering court documents to individuals and to businesses. I bet a few of you are surprised to see field inspections and mystery shopping on the list. Now, this isn't the typical $30, $40 field inspection assignments and mystery shopping assignments. Licensed private investigators are often hired to participate or to conduct more higher paying inspections and mystery shopping that could pay out several $100s. The hiring party wants to make sure that they get full reports, and sometimes they may be asked to really blend into a environment. So now that you have an idea of what private investigators are hired to do, and believe me, the list is a lot longer than that, but we're going to just deal with the short list in this video. I want to cover how you, as a commissioned notary public, could be of help to the PIs in your state. Let's tackle the obvious thing first. Private investigators deal with documents, important documents that require signatures to be notarized. I'm speaking of the witness statements, depositions, an affidavit of service for process serving, and even copy certifications for those records and documents they've been asked to collect. You can also, so you can fill the void by making it easy for the PIs to get these signatures notarized. Another thing that you can do as a notary is to help educate private investigators on your state's notary laws and how they can more easily obtain notarizations. You see on the screen, I mentioned add notarial certificates. Private investigators are often called upon to draft or write up reports, and many times those reports or documents require notarizations. Well, not all PIs know about adding the notarial certificate language correctly on these documents. Many of them are entered into evidence, so they need to be correct. I mentioned educating the PIs earlier, and what I mean by that is really making sure they understand exactly how notarization should be conducted and when oaths need to be administered. You can educate them on Alabama's remote notarization law because sometimes their witnesses may not be in the state of Alabama. And again, whenever there are changes to our notary laws, even though you aren't a notary instructor, you can educate PIs about any new changes to our laws because you will know that way before a private investigator would know it. Again, I'm restating the need for some private investigators to go to either the probate court, the circuit court, civil court, and obtain records. You can help by performing that task on behalf of the private investigator. So, again, right now I'm giving you ideas or reasons why you should connect with a private investigator near you to offer your assistance to free them up to do the duties that require a license, like surveillance. You wouldn't be able to help out a PI with that, but you could help out by going to the courthouse and picking up records from the court clerk. A licensed private investigator may also be able to subcontract to you some of the more straightforward, less complex field inspections and mystery shopping. We've talked about who PIs, private investigators, are. We just talked about a few of the ways you can help them with their work. Now I want to go over how to best identify or locate private investigators in your neck of the wood. My first recommendation for Alabama notaries is for you to connect with the Alabama Private Investigator Association. This is similar to our National Notary Association. I think you should go there first because you will find that they have a roster of PIs in various counties. Let's see if this link is going to work. Give it just a moment to load. There we go. It is now showing. So this is the APIA, Alabama Private Investigators Association's landing page on their website. And so let's say you reside in Jefferson County. You would just click Find an Investigator. And here is, it may not show up clearly on your screen, but there's a list of names, cities, district, and contact information. And for someone in the Jefferson County, Birmingham area, that would fall in the Central District. I'm in Madison County, and so I would reach out to PIs in the Northern District. And again, on their website, you'll be able to find their contact information, and you can reach out to them by mail, email, or phone. I'll talk more about contacting PIs in just a moment. Another way for you to connect with Alabama private investigators is to use good old Google. Use the search criteria Alabama private investigator near me, or enter your zip code. And that will bring up Google business listings for PIs in your area and also their website information. Another source for you to check out would be the National Association of Private Process Servers. And notice I do have the URLs listed for these sites. Many licensed private investigators also work as process servers. And so it's not a requirement to be a member of NAPS in a PPS, but a number of Alabama PIs are. You would come to this landing page and you'll see the section called Find a Process Server. To start off, just enter your zip code, click search, and then it will bring up a list of names of process servers near you. Now, again, I'm not saying that you have to or you want to be a process server, but in Alabama, the requirements to be a process server are far simpler than to be a notary. And so if you are open to the idea of serving court documents, that's just another thing for you to let the licensed PI know or the process server that shows up in your community. But again, your goal really is to let the PI or the process server know what type of notarizations or notarial duties you can provide to help out their business. Excuse me. Another site for you to go to is the Alabama Private Investigation Board, APIB. This is not an association. It is a state entity that oversees licensed PIs in the state of Alabama. You could either click here as a consumer, and then it will bring up a roster where you can click here and enter the name of a PI to verify their license status. So for this site, you would need to either do the Google or the APIA or the NAPS first to get a name. And you would only use this if you wanted to verify their credentials. Because I'm not sure if their address shows up. I don't believe that it does. All right, so those are the resources, the locations you can check in order for you to identify the name and contact information of private investigators in your community. So what do you do next? It's time to reach out to them. I know for notary signing agent work, a number of trainers and content creators encourage you to do drop-ins and drop off goodie bags. I'm not a fan of that approach, especially with private investigators. Instead, my recommendation is to start off with an introductory email or letter to the PI. And in that letter, you're going to briefly talk about your credentials and skills, your travel territory, and a general idea of what it would cost in order for them to use your notary services. And what I did, um, drafting emails like this comes easy for me. One, I've been in the notary business for quite some time, but also I majored in communications in school, and this is something that just comes easy for me. Not everything does, but solicitation letters and emails, um, I like to have a little fun with. So I wanted to show you a sample email that you could send to a licensed private investigator. And instead of pulling out something that I've used in the past, I decided to reach out to um, an AI service that I use called Perplexity. And so I asked my prompt for Perplexity was, hey, I'm a new notary starting my business. I want to solicit my services to licensed private investigators in my territory. Um, Help me write an introductory email. And this is what Perplexity recommended. I'm going to read it in case the font is too small. Perplexity suggests that in the subject line of your email, you write mobile notary available when you need one. I think that is a great, catchy, eye-catching subject line for your email. And then just start off with, hi, Bob, or Mr. Smith, if you want to be more formal. And it goes on to say, if you ever need a signature notarized quickly, I've got you covered. I'm a traveling notary who can come to your office or meet your client for less than $25. And then 3 bullet points: evening and weekend availability, reliable and confidential service, fast turnaround at your convenience. And then in closing, it reads, save my number so the next time you need a notary on short notice, I'm just a call away, and then your name, and then your phone number. I want to make a couple comments. One, don't get hung up on the $25. It's really just a placeholder. But keep in mind, this is an introductory email. This is your first and maybe only opportunity for this private investigator to consider using your services. Personally, I think if you were to put $100 in there, which could end up being your fee, but for that to show up in your introductory email could cause the PI to think, wow, this person's fees are way too high for me to ever consider. So start low, and hopefully the PI will call you, and then you can clarify your fee, perhaps mention that was an estimated travel fee for close to your zip code or whatever. But yeah, don't get hung up on that $25. If you want to make it 50, go right ahead. Another thing I want to call out is the evening and weekend availability. Hands down, this is when not only PIs, but most folks have the hardest time obtaining a notarization. And PIs work many times 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's really important for you to include this in your email. Also, the word confidential. As notaries, we handle a lot of confidential information, but you best believe a licensed PI is seeing far more confidential work than many of us notaries will ever see. For you to let the PI know from the get-go that you know how to handle confidential information and that you can be trusted will go a very long way. My favorite part of this email is save my number so that next time you need a notary, I'm just a call away. I love that. This is why I prefer an email over you dropping off a business card or flyer. Many times those two items get set aside, misplaced, or just thrown out accidentally. But a good PI is going to read that last sentence and then notice that your cell phone number is below your name and just go ahead and put your information in their phone because there will always be a time when they're going to need you. All right. How What are some other ways for you to contact PIs? Well, I just talked about the disadvantages of using a flyer or business card, but there are some perks to that as well. And so if you are comfortable and confident enough to go by a PI's office to do cold calling, go right ahead. Um, I also prefer the second bullet, which is become an association member. So just a few slides ago, I mentioned the Alabama Private Investigator Association. Now, I know what you're thinking. Michelle, I'm not a licensed PI. I won't be able to join. Uh, think again. Many associations have a special membership category for perhaps student PIs or people who are affiliated with the PI industry. And to be honest with you, I can't recall if Alabama Association falls in that category or not, but it's worth checking. And it's definitely worth you checking out if you happen to be a notary in another state. Associations hold events. Many of them or most of them host at least an annual conference. Some of them host quarterly events. Many times they make those events available to the general public for a fee. And so, yeah, if the cost is in your budget, go ahead, pay the registration fee, and attend a few of the sessions, all of them if you can make the time. And in between workshops, introduce yourself, pass out the business card or flyer while you're there. Association events are opportunities for you to mingle, to network. There may also be an opportunity for you to speak or present at an association event. So I'm big on associations. There have been times when I have been a member of four or five different trade associations. And the fees that you pay as a member can be tax write-offs. So that helps out to offset that cost. All right, I want to circle back and summarize what we've covered so far and then leave you with some takeaway items. Alabama private investigators handle daily numerous documents that require signatures to be notarized. And for some of you, you probably had never thought about them before now. I want to put them on your radar. Some of those documents will be the private investigator needing to sign their name on reports that they've written. Sometimes it's going to be their, I don't want to call them their client, but a witness or an individual that they have interviewed or interacted with, that their signature needs to be notarized. It could even be a record keeper at a hospital or a business. And that's why you being a mobile notary would mean a lot. I've shown you that you are just a few clicks away from finding local PIs near you. I mentioned Google, the Alabama Private Investigator Association, the Alabama Private Investigation Board, NAPS, which stands for the National Association for Professional Process Servers. Now, the last three on this list, I didn't pull up their websites, but I want you to jot down their URL. TALPI, TALPI.org, is the Association for Tennessee Private Investigators. GAPPI, GAPPI.org, is for Georgia. And MyFAPI, MYFAPI.org, is for Florida. What you may not know, in the PI industry, many states allow for reciprocity. And so it is possible that a licensed PI in Tennessee can come drive to Alabama to do work. And I would say that Tennessee PI, when he or she is here in Alabama doing work, would really appreciate your services because they are less familiar with where to go in Alabama to find a notary public. I hope you saw value in that short email or that template email that Perplexity recommended. I loved it. Whether you use Perplexity or a different AI, that's up to you. But what I want to drill home to you is keep it short. In that sample, there were only two complete sentences, the first and the last sentence, and then in the middle, there were three bullet items. That's enough. Don't write a book. Now, if you want to add a little bit about any credentials that you have, fine. but keep it short and sweet. And again, flyers and business cards, they are okay. But I think an email that the PI can keep in their inbox, plus entering your information in their phone immediately, I think those two things will go much further with getting your phone to ring. Again, I'm a big proponent for associations. They can really pay off in your favor. And so for the organizations that do allow you to join, I forget the category they have, but you'll find it on their website. It could be an associate member, a guest member, whatever it is. If you can afford that membership price, go ahead, join it for a year. Show up to some of the meetings, get to know the people, let them get to know you. And then when it comes time for renewal, you can decide whether it was worth renewing or not. You can also serve as a sponsor for some of those association meetings. And I know I don't have a big budget. And so you could offer for a meeting to provide snacks, whether it's something like pizza and drink, or sponsor a gift card giveaway. It doesn't have to be anything huge, and every little bit helps and is appreciated. I know some of you will have questions about what I just covered in this presentation. If so, I want to encourage you to go ahead and place your questions in the comments below, and I'll make every effort to respond to your questions. I don't do as much training as I used to do, but when I do schedule a training webinar or Zoom or in person, you'll see it listed on trainalabama.com. That completes my video on how to market your notary services to private investigators. I hope you picked up on something. While this video focused on private investigators, you can apply the same approach to other industries and roles as well. You can ask yourself the same questions. Okay, who are these folks? How can I help them? As a notary, where can I find them? What's the best way to contact them? Who knows? I may tackle another occupation, another role in an upcoming video. Let me know if you found this information helpful. And if you'd like for me to do other roles, let me know what interests you, and I'll do that. I'm getting tongue-tied, so that means I need to wrap it up. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, go ahead and do so. Click that bell so that you'll be one of the first to know whenever I publish a new video. Thank you for watching. Make it a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.